This book is an emotional roller coaster. It brings it down, brings it up, brings it down, brings it up. It's like how storytelling is supposed to be. And in saying that, my name is Dorian. This is SEM Comics. We are continuing our coverage of Absolute Power with number 3. So a story starts off in Gateway City, where you got Hawk Girl calling out to anybody. Wonder Woman, Flash, anybody that can hear her. She pretty much tells how she knows she's supposed to lay low, but she saw the Fearsome Five doing Fearsome Five things and she had to step in. Well, when that happened, an amazing robot showed up and not only took away her powers, but also took away the powers of the Fearsome Five and then started collecting them. Only her and Mammoth got away. And that picture right there shows that there's no more bad guys, there's no good guys. It's just Amanda Waller versus the metahumans. And speaking of Amanda Waller, now we cut to Mora Island where she's talking to her main troops. Amanda Waller's talking to the Brainiac Queen and she's asking her has she found the superheroes that were at the Force of Solitude before Superman blew it up. And she's like, no, haven't found them yet, but Super Son, which is Jonathan Kent, who is now possessed by the Brainiac Queen using Brainiac tech, is searching the globe at super speed and it's just a matter of time. She pretty much tells Amanda Waller. Then she turns to Failsafe and she's asking him about Task Force 7, which is pretty much the Amazing Robots and how everything's going. And Failsafe says, yeah, everything's going good. They're about to be at about 100%, but he does sense some, issues. He brings up J-Stone and Velocity. J-Stone is a Green Lantern Mazo and Velocity is the Flash of Mazo. And he pretty much says that they're less responsive than the others are, which is pretty much that free-willing AI. They're starting to think for themselves. And Amanda Waller is like an old-school parent. She'll be damned if her kids start thinking for themselves. No, they just need to follow orders. Do what mommy says. Failsafe says worst comes to worst, he'll just do like a reboot or a primal reset. So nothing to worry about. They can move forward. And when they move forward, they're about to move forward. So now we have our man, and he's on the beach and he's picking himself up. Red Tornado comes out of nowhere to help him up. Now our man is, I guess, blind, and his equipment that he has helps him see. Right now his equipment doesn't work, so he's a blind man. Now Hal Jordan Jr. is there too. This is news to me too. I didn't know he had a son. I didn't know he was like either a teenager or grown. I had no idea. And Nightwing and Mr. Terrific comes out of nowhere, so that shows they're on Themyscira. Now last time I was reading, Our Man and Red Tornado, they were with the Justice Society and they were in the Tower of Fate. So something happened to the Tower of Fate that I guess we'll find out after this book. It's the reason why they're there. Now, the Amazonians have been dealing with their own issues, so opening up Themyscira is something they don't want to do. But Wonder Woman and Donna Troy were able to convince the Queen to go ahead and let all the superheroes in, especially the male ones. They don't want the male ones there. So the Flash, Wally West, has pretty much been depowered, and he's been using like this hyper bike that almost gets him to the speed that he runs at. Not quite, but close enough. And the last time he was in the Force of Solitude, he's the one that had the kryptonite, and the Birds of Prey are asking for it so that they can deal with Superman's son. So of course Nightwing goes up Big Barda's like, no, you're not doing that. We got a plan for Jonathan. Now Big Barda just thinking that Nightwing is being weak, and she's like, look, I respect Superman, I respect his son, but right now he's being controlled and it's either him or us. And I choose us. And Nightwing's like, look, you're not doing anything to him. In the discussion. And he just kind of walks away, and everybody's like, all right, I'll let you know now. If it comes down to it, I'm going to take him out. So the Nightwing gets up high to address the superheroes. Just don't get it twisted. He's the leader in this. Not Superman, not Batman, not Wonder Woman, Nightwing. So Nightwing pretty much says how they're going to bring the fight to Amanda Waller. And I think it's Beast Girl. Pretty sure it's Beast Girl. Let me know in the comments if I got that wrong. But she's pretty much saying that, look, what are we supposed to do? I don't even know how to throw a punch. And that's when shirtless Hal Jordan, like you would think he would find a shirt by now, comes out and says that he has some presents, which is a bunch of weapons that he was able to pretty much transport on accident, because trust me, he didn't plan to do it. when he was on Mora and he found that magic wand, he said abracadabra. It transported him and a big bulk of weapons to Themyscira. So Wally West is the one that says, hey, here you go, Hal. Have this tactical jacket. No, we're trying to say, put some clothes on. Man, dude. So now Nightwing starts laying down the plan. He pretty much tells Aquaman, Blue Beetle, Red Tornado, and Yara to pretty much go check on Batman because Batman has a Man of Water's mother box, and they're supposed to get some kind of villain named John Starr, who's on the Suicide Squad. He wants Donna Troy and her team, which is pretty much the Birds of Prey, including Big Barda, to stay on Themyscira and see if the Amazonians will let them borrow some weapons. And then the rest of the squad is going to go out and answer distress signals to try to help out the other superheroes that are still out there. Now we get to the fun part. We go to China, and you have the Chinese government, and they're pretty much pissed because they have a superhero, and that superhero has been depowered and put in Amanda Waller's supermax for superheroes. So they're sitting there discussing exactly what they're going to do and how they're going to respond, and then all of a sudden failsafe comes out of nowhere. It's like, you ain't going to do a damn thing. And he says it in Mandarin. So pretty much failsafe lets them know that superheroes aren't just an American problem, they're a world problem. But don't worry, because they're going to have world jurisdiction. So you know the Chinese are getting all bent on a shape about this. But then failsafe cuts them off again and lets them know, like, it doesn't matter. Because Brainiac Queen is right now into your systems, and she's stealing all of your little secrets. So everything that you're trying to hide, we already know about. So you might as well go ahead and just call me the General. And if you don't believe me, let's go ahead and call up Russia and Japan. See how they're doing right now. So Amanda Waller cuts him off and is like, you need to get back here, and you need to get back here now. So failsafe has to stop his little dictator speech and then starts flying back. So he's like, what's wrong? And Amanda Waller's like, the Amazos. There's something wrong with the Amazos. Like, you need to do a diagnostics and let me know what the hell's going on. So pretty much failsafe does a diagnostics, and he's like, yeah, there's a little bit of problem. Like, what is it? Well, it's their identity. What's wrong with their identity? But when they download the superheroes' powers, they're also downloading their morality. Amanda Waller freaks out. She's like, you're trying to tell me that goodness is a superpower? And failsafe's like, I got it. I'm about to reboot him right now. So he hits the reboot right when Velocity is about to catch Barry Allen. They get rebooted, so obviously this slows down Velocity. So now Flash is like, I don't know who's listening, but something happened and this dude is slowing down like drastically. Well, somebody calls for him and he's like, is this Hal? He's like, no, this is not Hal. He's like, well, who is this? And dude's like, don't worry about it. All you need to know is Amanda Waller has a supermax prison on Mora Island, and you need to get to the lower level. And Barry was like, and do what? And he's like, to do what all Flashes do during crisis. Save the world or die trying. So then we cut to the OSS Rev, where you have Bizarro, who is fresh off of Lobo's world. If you read or watched Batman 152, then you know what I'm talking about. In that, he got his arm pretty much cut off, but looks like somebody gave him a new one, and he's using it. He knocks the hell out of Yar, and then he takes that arm and puts it right through Aquaman. I'm like, things just went from bad to worse. Then we turn to the next page, and we see a Black Mercy plant on him. If you guys don't know what a Black Mercy plant is, it's pretty much an alien plant that once it gets on you, it shows you your like most desired dreams, and in that dream, you're pretty much achieving everything you want to achieve. Right now, Bizarro is in that. So then we go below deck where we got Blue Beetle and Red Tornado. And Blue Beetle's like, would you take that stupid helmet off? And Red Tornado's like, this is the helmet of Aztec. It gave his late wearer superhuman powers. And Blue Beetle's like, you said late, right? That means it didn't work out too much for him. So they finally find this dude Star. He's being guarded by Black Alice. She started using her powers, and they're like, you guys ain't going nowhere. But then Yara comes behind her, knocks her out. Now we're thinking, okay, everything's going to be okay. No, Amanda Waller's nephew comes out of nowhere, shoots Red Tornado right in the head, and he's wearing that helmet. So I guess Blue Beetle was right. So then we cut to Costa Rica, and I don't know who this dude is, but he got a demon wolf, and he's giving this Amazo a run for his money. And Amanda Waller and Ali is watching all this. So then we cut back to Themyscira. Blue Beetle is trying to work on Red Tornado because he got shot in the head, but please remember, he is a robot. And then you got Mr. Terrific. He's also in the lab, but he's talking to Artemis. I think that's Artemis. Could be wrong, but let me know in the comments if I am, but I think that's Artemis. When he notices something, all of a sudden, Brainiac Queen comes out of the circuitry. So if she's there, that means John's there, and he's right above, wrecking shop. So Brainiac Queen got a hold of Mr. Terrific and Artemis. John comes down and punches the bejesus out of Nubia. Big Butter's like, Dad, give me that kryptonite bullet. She loads it up into a sniper rifle. She takes aim. All of a sudden, an instrument stick comes out of nowhere, hits her in the hand, and you got Nightwing saying, I told you no. So the Nightwing's like, come on, John. This is me you want. Come on, come get me. Come on the ground and fight me. And as soon as he steps on the ground, all of a sudden, John is getting hit with all this energy because Themyscira is filled with magic. That's what Mr. Terrific and Nightwing noticed. So, since Kryptonians are weak to magic, they made sure that as soon as Jonathan steps on the ground, all the magic of Themyscira will go straight to him. So with that, it pretty much breaks the hold that Brainiac Queen had on John. Brainiac Queen's like, what's going on? And then John's like, you know what? You only got one side of the story when it comes to Amanda Waller. Let me show you the other side. And starts filling all this information into Brainiac Queen via, I guess, the magic of Themyscira. Now, at the same time, Batman shows up with the mother box. Now, Amanda Waller was kind of ready for this just in case something like this happened. She does an emergency override. So now the Brainiac Queen is back to where she was. She's about to jump on John. Batman comes out of nowhere and hits Brainiac Queen with the mother box. So who knows where she just got sent to. And then somebody calls out for John, and it's Superman. And he says, I'm very proud of you, son. So Donna Troy is trying to apologize to Nubia for everything that happened on Themyscira. Nubia's like, look, what's done is done. We need to worry about Amanda Waller. If we beat her, then we'll settle up later on. So then Batman sees the dude Star and he's like, I need you. And she was like, why me? He was like, because you know Star. So I'm like confused. And Batman's like, you know how to get everybody's powers back. All I know is this dude deals with like time travel. So it's probably gonna have something to do with that. But on the last page, Barry Allen does get to Amanda Waller's Supermax prison. He sees what's going on in there. He is like, oh my God. She's tapped into a multiverse. She's trying to build a multiversal army. And he doesn't even see members of the crime syndicate right behind him.